Greetings and welcome to Factorio. I'm Dgray and today we continue our entry level to Megabase playthrough. So last episode we just got all of our oil production set up. Hopefully everything's hooked up correctly. If not, we will know soon enough. This should all get sorted and let's just leave this for a little while now that we have at least some production running. Now we're at the point where we should start using some of it. Power still good enough, so let's see if we can't, wow, that's a lot of robots, can't make a cool little setup maybe up here close to the rest of it. So let's take our trusty car, let's go up top, and let's see what we can figure out. What I'm still working towards is getting more robots. I want pretty much more robots to get our production up and running and get everything moved back and forth between here and the other areas. So let's see here. This is running as fast as it can. Let's just clear out some of these trees that are in the way. So what if we expand out over here and make a bit more? We could, in theory, just set it up right here and move this if we want to in the future. So let's just get a new setup made right here. And then we can try and do a bit of oil work in this area. The good thing about that is we can always just move it to the other end of the world if we want to. So that shouldn't be too bad. So what I want to make now is pretty much sulfur. That means you want water and petroleum in. Kind of want to do it with robots, though that will need quite a few to move things around, but I think that'll be the best solution. We'll then do the same setup as we had up here. Where is it at? This one. We could pretty much just steal this setup to some degree, because that will give us everything we need and add a lot of things to our network. So let's see, we'll need some inputs. We could do those on the left, the same with the outputs, and then maybe do a double down here. So what if we do it right here for now? Then we can redesign it a bit in the future. I'll kind of want to remove these belts. Maybe just put in our requested chest. And then actually remove this one and make it into... remove you, remove you. Remove this and make it into something else. There are, you can go away and you can go away. So it's something like this. We'll then want to have 2 input outputs. Let's see, we want 2. Water, 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 petroleum. So what if we do petroleum up top? Could do it with a bit of room here. Maybe one down to give ourselves a bit of room. And then do the same with the water right here. So you could be petroleum out, you could be water out. Going both these ways. Move this down a small amount to line it up. Maybe doing it right here. 1, 2, 3 might be good to have. Go one down. Let's try it right there, just for now. I just kind of want it to get up and running for now. So we'll have petroleum going straight across this way. Oh, pretty much just doing that is fine. And then we'll have the water coming here to here, here to there. Bit excessive with this many, but it should get the job done. And some water here. And then we most definitely need to get more pipes up and running, because they can't keep up. But that will at least give us what we need. Here comes some more things being built. Now input, we'll need a requested chest here for the iron. The sulfur will come from up here. So we'll just request iron in you. Please give me... How much do you need at a time? 1 every second. So let's just set it to 100. So we have some being moved here and here. Oh, and we have surplus logistic robots. Wow. I did not imagine that would happen. Does that mean that we are emptying out everything we can down here? It doesn't. Does that mean we just have filled up this chest? It doesn't. Huh. Well, that is quite funny. What the reason is... Oh, that might be the reason. We have quite a lot standing right here for... Or they might just be in transit with a lot of the items. That could also be the reason why things are looking as they are. But that should mean that these are getting enough to run without any issue. And that should mean that things are starting to look a bit better around the base. So that's quite nice, because look, we have 2.3k getting delivered to this one. Of course, it's going to be redistributed into these, but that's way better, because we'll move way bigger sizes than this one. So that's actually very nice. We have enough getting flown in as is. So that's actually a major milestone in terms of our base. We might want to set up a bit more steel, because we're still using quite a lot. That's a lot of miners. That might be a bit overkill, but that is fine. Where's all steel going? Pretty much into filling all of this. Yeah. I might be going into these as well. Well, we'll just let this run, and things should slowly but surely get filled up over time. Let's just go down here. Oh, what are you? Oh, you're just lacking things to craft. Let's just craft a few of these. Oops. By hand. The power is still fine. And let's just get the rest of this filled in. There we are. So now we have water. Oh, and I see what I made a mistake. I need to move you down a bit. To like maybe here might be good enough. But I will need to do it, and I'll show you why in just a second. And that is pretty much because if I don't do this, I can't hook up the requested chests and the active provider chests, which we actually need to go grab a few of. We should have made some, even though we did stop most of the production of them. Let's do that. Do the same with that one here, and the same with the green. So you can just kind of go. That's looking good. Then we will need 2 active providers. 1, 2. We'll need in, out, out. And you'll request petroleum. Before I do it, I'll just have to check that we have what we need. One being the water, we'll need to hook up maybe over here, could be good. Just to have it close by. And let's just hook up a bit of radar coverage as well. You can kind of go right here. So if we request petroleum now, that will activate these. Except the water, that'll go into a sulfur. That will start to operate sulfur. So that means we'll have to set up one more here. We can kind of do it this way. Pause, remove these, and change you to please make sulfuric in barrel. Go into that one. And then we'll have out in. Or actually want out and outside again. Active, nope. Request and a passive provider. There we are. Please go in and out. And you'll just request a barrels. That is good. So that'll give us the barrels we need. That'll output the sulfuric acid we need. And now we just need water in pretty much. That is the one thing we're lacking. Let's just move some barrels. Just move as many as you can. That's fine. Water, move as much as you can. And the reason for that is, if we just move, let's see here, one at a time, it will request one robot to move the barrel. And then it will not request anything else until that is delivered. So that means we'll never have any storage, and we'll have to a long wait, long response time. But if we try to fill the chest at all times, we'll always have 400 or something like that. Well, it'll be 480 en route at a maximum, and if that can't keep up, then yeah, we'll kind of have to do a second chest or figure out what the problem is. But here comes the petroleum. That should also activate things down south. Should be coming. Look at that, a little snaky here. That's all the robots going to get barrels. Oh, barrels of petroleum. And then we should just move over here to the left and hook up a bit of water. So let's just move over here and get that done. Now that we are working on this anyway. So here we are. Please go out a few times. Well, it's a bit further out here than I thought, but that's actually close enough for us to hook up things. So if we take a little pump, I don't know if one would be enough, but we can just do it right here. Can actually hook up a bit more because I know we'll need a lot of water. So if we do that, that's going to be 6. If we then do it, let's see what's a good way to do it. We can do direct insertion into assemblers maybe. Will that be a good way to do it? I was thinking about how we should hook it up, because if we do this, that's going to limit the pipes a whole lot. Maybe doing something like this could be fine. Directly into... Just have to move it over a bit. Don't really mind that it's not the most efficient, but it should solve or do what we want it to. Let's do this 4. You'll just kind of barrel water, so we have some storage. Might want to move it a bit closer. What if we just do 3 with direct insertion? There we are. They might not even be fast enough to gather these, but we'll just move them in the future if that becomes an issue. Then we'll do a request a chest. Here, oh, here, and let's see, here to passive in the middle. Do too far in, out, out. And just do this right down here. And add ourselves some power. Let's just connect it up right up here. There we are. So that should give us all the water we need. Now we just need the barrels. Please request barrel, barrel, barrel. And then we always have 1500 in storage. There we are. So now we just need the barrels, and then we should be good. And they are slowly but surely being made. Might want to copy it just one time to make sure that it works. Or not that it works, but just to make sure we're producing enough. We could do 2, even though the issue is not that, it is still the steel. Should we take in the steel from here for now? Because this should be backed up all the way. It is. Let's just give ourselves a little helping hand. Not a lot, but it will give us a small amount. So let's try that. There we are. Just get a bit more steel in. That will be completely fine. So these are going. They are getting steel slowly but surely. So at some point this will activate and start to work. We do have enough iron ore stored up. Might want to get another one of these to fill with chests because of the long travel time. That could actually help quite a bit. Also, we just need a second column for these. That might also be a solution. So should we just make a second steel one just below here? Let's do that. I'll show you how easy it is. Just take that. Do this. And there we just doubled our steel production capacity. Very easy. That should activate a lot more robots if this is keeping up. It's not, so it should be able to fill in quite a bit more. So firstly, all the chests is going to be placed. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. And then we are good to go. Let's also place down all the lights. How much does light actually take of power? Oh, that's going to drain quite a bit if we do that right now. Might want to wait. I know it's only 5 kilowatts, but 12 of those, and then we need 1 solar panel. So yeah, let's wait a bit with it. Oh, then again, we don't need 1 solar panel since lights is at the night, solar is at the day. And the light is a bit shorter than the day is, so it will not be that big of a discrepancy. So all robots should be working now. Because we added this one, that's going to request another 2.4K. So more should be en route getting up here, and we should be using all robots again. Meaning that these will get pulled out of this one. So adding more and more to our network right now. Perfect. Just what I like to see. How's the water coming along? I can see we need to get down a radar over here. Could just request a few to have on my person at all times. Just give me 5, that's fine. If the robots can even find me, it gave me 1, that is good enough. The rest are just kind of following me, or at least trying to. So where do we need the... We need to put it all the way over here to the right, pretty much in this quadrant or in the one down here. I think this might be a good place for it. So that means we have water storage now. That should get pulled out and delivered to wherever it's needed. It could actually be all the way down here it could deliver to, which is not really what I want, even though look, that is what's happening. So that is fine. It's not the end of the world. So let's just fix you. We still just need the pipes to, barrels to fill up before we can get any serious throughput going. And that is where all our steel... Do we have steel stored up now? Hey! Look at that, guys. We might not even need this at the moment. We might actually have built up enough surplus. So we'll just keep it for now, and then it will expand into it when things activate. But we're actually making a surplus of steel. So I actually want to expand this out a bit more, getting some more barrels made just for a little while. It does have a bit of logistics on it, so let's take that and say you, and then copy these two as well. Making more barrels. There we are. That should craft quite a bit more barrels. Hopefully that will speed up the process of getting our system up and running. Solar is still chugging along. We almost have 500 stored now. Nice amount. And that should mean that we should be able to place down at least the solar part of our power. Though we are still missing the accumulators, which we are working slowly towards here. And look at that, we are actually making sulfuric acid barrels. That is actually looking quite good. So over here, yeah, look at that, they are working overtime. In terms of recharging here, we might want to start thinking about adding more. This is a bit of a blind spot because they are going across the water. That's never a good idea for robots to do, but hopefully one day they will learn. Yeah, we are still keeping up with these four. It's not a huge deadlock yet. It's just normal charging, except right here. Oh well, we will leave it for now. That's good enough, because we still have a surplus of logistic robots. So the next thing we should work towards is starting to use our sulfuric acid. We need it for batteries, being the main part that goes into our flying robot frames. So let's make a new kind of mole. One that uses pretty much just the input from this. So let's make it right next to this one, just so I can show you what it's supposed to do. Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, you're just going that way. Could also make it... No, I want to make it right here. This one is just... What? Is everything connected up? Oh, that's just connected up to the bottom one. I was like, did I do something? Okay, is that not strange? Ain't these in two separate networks? 320, 320. Okay, that is strange, unless this is disconnected somewhere. What? When did that happen? Oh well, everything's connected up. I don't know when that happened. I actually thought we still had it on two networks. If any of you saw when that happened, do feel free to comment that, because that's actually a bit surprising. So that means if I disconnect this one, will that jump this one down quite a bit? Oh yeah, that is most definitely what's gonna happen. So let's not do that. Did not notice that we had hooked up everything. Please continue being on the same network. Let's look at that. Yeah, we will have to make sure that that doesn't happen, and that's probably because this is not running full time, that we can actually support this right now. We could steal this setup for the next one, but yeah, we'll see if we do something completely different now that we have robots. So let's do this thing firstly. Get the stupid trees out the way, and let's set up a fluid. what's called base thing. So let's just make it here. We can always move it afterwards. Let's not request anything. Then we'll have fluids coming down the middle. Then we will have, if you want to make these, assembly machines and lubricant. He'll be assembly machine. This needs quite a lot. So we kind of want to make those in bulk, maybe. Might be a good idea. So do something like this. Instead of just having one going in, we can have it take two in. I think that might be good. So we can do something like, what if we do in out, saying you will be, oh, we need electric engines or normal engines as well. At the same ratio. So we could do something, could actually add it on the side here for that to go in. Or, no, that'll take too much room from these. So we could actually do it here if we wanted to. Or we could probably just do it down. What I'm thinking about doing is doing a long-handed in between these. So what if we do this the same way we did with the other one? So what if we do, oh wait, we could do something like this instead. Yeah, let's do that. That's probably a better solution. Do it out this way, so we still have the same amount of lubricant running down, or whatever we want in this one. Do out, in, long-handed, going that way. So you will make normal. You will make, what's it called? Electric. You'll get the lubricant from right here. You will output lubricant down this way. Because if we do this, we can say this one will pretty much make that. This will output both ways. But this will just request in with the robots what we need. So we'll have to do pretty much this in a second. But let's just move it over so it matches in. Or just do it here and then move it in a second. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Then request electronic circuits as well. Just a small amount. Or 10 might be overkill, but then we'll at least have it. And then we should be able to make what we want just by adding that. Then we can copy it down to here to add another one. And just run with one of these, and we can actually do it times 2. And like that, we have a nice setup for engines, where things will get moved around as we see fit. Yeah, so we just need to set up lubricant production. That is made a 1-to-1. So we might as well make that, where we want. If you fly it in, or we, pretty much take it where we want. It doesn't really matter if we do it down here or up here next to it. 10 every 1 second. This uses, let's just make a lubricant cell. Could do it in here. Flying in, then we can just fly into heavy oil instead, to be honest. We should make a dedicated cell for lubricant. I think that'll be more amazing, since we are going the Megabase route. So I know that will be something we'll have to look at anyway. So let's just move this up to the corner. You will pretty much start. Let's start one out from each side so it's not too cramped right there. Luckily our robots will just move it for us. And then we'll just set up a bit of lubricant down here. Shouldn't take that long, because the setup is exactly the same. Oh, exactly and exactly. It's somewhat the same. We can do inputs or outputs, pipe in the middle. Then we'll at the top maybe we'll do the input here and output lubricant at the bottom. So if we input, let's just put it here, the heavy oil, output the heavy oil into this one. Then these will craft the lubricant. Oh, yeah, I'll craft the lubricant on the outside. Then on the outside, we'll kind of drag things down this way. All the way down. And then have lubricant running in the, this running in the middle. Maybe making room for power poles. Could do something like this. Will that give enough room to add one power pole here and there? It will. And then we'll have lubricant coming out here, going down into pretty much whatever we want. Let's see here. Let's just put one here. We can always move it down a bit, but just to make it look a bit good, we'll barrel lubricant here like this, and there we are. That might look, or that will look quite good with request and that one. Please gather in, out, and give ourselves a bit of power. There we are. That should be good. Power. We'll just hook this one up here for now. We'll move it in a second. I just want to see if our proof of concept will do what I want it to. Request here. Active provide there. In, out. Please get those. Get as much as you want. And some power. So this should make lubricant for us with no issues at all. There comes the last pipe. That's perfect. And let's see if we can get this show on the road. You can just fill it up as well, giving us as much as you want. This one has got probably a whole row of robots going down to grab it, moving it up, making lubricant. The lubricant is going to move it up here, add it to this one, and that will give us our electric engines in our Megabase. So that is actually not too shabby. Oh, this might actually be the reason why the iron was keeping up, or sorry, steel was keeping up. But let's not talk about that too much. So this one is running. We have 100, almost 200 en route. That's why I always go to max. Look at this one. I almost have 300 en route. So that is quite important. One thing I do know is this one is not outputting water that fast. So you might have to add a lot more in terms of supplying these with water. So that's actually quite good to know. Because we need 100 every second. And this one outputs 250 every second. At crafting speed 1. So if we upgrade this one, it should help quite a bit. So here comes the first heavy oil. Should output. That goes to lubricant. Should go down here to the bottles of lubricant. That's gonna be grabbed and moved up here as soon as we add a bit of input for it. Just gonna do this to make it a bit easy to set up. Change you to lubricant. Just go max on that. And voila. That should be our... Oh. That's not keeping up at all. This one. So let's do that. Just adding a few more before we make a dedicated cell for it. But it is trying to keep up. Is that just because of inserters? No, it just can't keep up with what we're trying to make. But that is because we are making a lot of things. So let's just do this, to be honest. There we are. here. I thought we had a third one probably down here at the bottom. We actually have 4. Huh. This should keep up. It might just be delivery robots that should grab a bit more at a time, because otherwise we'll be waiting forever. Here, 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 and there. So there we are. That is what's it called? Electric engines being made, and that is a very, very good place to stop. This is working as intended, saving a robot travel time, so that is perfect. Power-wise, we are still good for now. So I think this is a very good place to stop this episode. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you'll give me a like and subscribe. So many of you have done it already, and I appreciate every one of you. And then I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.